Hey there, this is Shelly, your mouthy mama at Talking Trash and Truths. And today I want to talk about Jordan Peterson and everything that he's going through. Um, I have a song stuck in my head. I don't know if you know Seasons in the Sun. I can't seem to get goodbye to you, my trusted friend. We've known each other since we were 9 or 10. That's the song. I can't get it out of my head. I don't know why. It's driving me nuts. Anyway, I wanted to talk about Jordan Peterson because I was watching a whole bunch of videos that he had done, and there's this documentary that he did, um, or that they did. It's on his website. It's on his channel site. A glitch in the Matrix, and it's called documentary. A glitch in the Matrix, and he talks about all these different things, and right now there's such a backlash against him by certain, you know, um, outside the United States governments, and actually, like our schools and institutions aren't really being great to him either. Um, I don't understand it. I mean, I do, but I don't like. I don't understand how they're getting away with it because they're targeting this man. They want him to go to like a social media re-education seminar, and they want it to go on like his record, and it's supposed to be like, everybody will know that this was a punishment. What are they punishing him for? What are they punishing him for? You have like people out there like Matthew Harris with his book, and you got that Dr. Proud whatever. I'm surprised that one word is in that name since she's so anti that. um but they're going around spouting, you know, horrible words and hate and whatever. This man doesn't do that. So I don't get it. He's not advocating for degeneracy. He's not advocating for, living the thug life. He's not doing that. He's not telling these kids, hey, you have a hard time, go out and rob something. Oh, you don't know how to defend yourself? Pick the toughest guy, tell him to teach you. Like, he's not telling him go out in the streets. Go do whatever you think you're capable of, because you obviously know what you're capable of. He's not telling them that. He's telling them the exact opposite. I mean, this man, he encourages men to work on themselves and to be men and show respect for themselves and for others. He teaches them, like they need to be functional and proud and responsible. He pushes for them to be accountable for their actions and their decisions. That's something we are sorely lacking. Our society is breaking down at the speed of light because nobody wants to, be held accountable for the things they say or do. We just spent how many months watching a trial, seeing somebody up on the stand who refused to accept that, okay, they got me. They have all this evidence against me. They know I'm lying, but let me continue and compound the lie so it's even more fantastical. I can't. Like that, this is what we're accepting, and you have people supporting her, which I don't understand. Like they're all, wait, believe all women, believe all ungatsungul is what you're gonna fucking believe. Ooh, I think I lasted almost 4 minutes. Cool, but um, we got these women up on like this pedestal that, oh, we know you lied, but oh, you're a woman, so we have to take care of you, so keep bashing the man. What? I don't understand when men became the enemy, because the whole point wasn't to be above them or below them, it was to be partners with them, you know not really equality, because I really don't think that's possible, because they have capabilities we don't. I mean, except for like the odd exception, most of the time they have things we don't. We have things they don't. We do things better than they do. They do things better than we do. And it's complementary. That's the point. Right down to our freaking privates. We literally are meant to complement one another, to fit together, to become one. That was the whole purpose of making us the way he did, to make us one. When we join, we are one. And he didn't mean, I'm pretty sure God wasn't like, oh, hey, that hookup, now you're one. No. Oh, you got a fuck buddy, you guys are one. No. Marriage, long-term, commitment, a vow to one another that you're not going to break. That was his intention behind the become one. Not become one with her, then one with her, then one with her. By the end of your life, what are you, like a fraction of 1 in 1 millionth left of you? Or have you gained all of them and now you have like not 9,000 fractions of other women in your soul? Like, get out of here. Stop. Pick one. If it ends prematurely, by death, then pick another one. But don't keep picking. Like, I want that one tonight and that one tomorrow, and that one looks like a good afternoon delight. And no, you could do that, but what kind of life is that? It's fun. Yeah. Guess what? You're going to die alone. You're going to die alone with like uncurable SIF. And that's going to be it. Die alone, uncurable SIF. Nobody cares and nobody remembers you. Because people are fickle. People are very fickle. They will forget you. Your family, though, your wife, your husband, they won't forget you. And they'll make sure that at least 1 or 2 generations after them won't forget you. I feel bad that we've gotten to the point where everybody's just leapfrogging each other. That's all they're doing. Like they're, jump over, jump whatever. Nobody lands. Nobody settles. Settling down used to be a thing. I get it's really expensive out there and everything, and you're like, oh, this bitch is going to want a house. And so you work on it together. Unless you feel you could provide it all, work on it together. Plan it out. Sometimes I think people should go into marriage like a business transaction. Lay all your fucking cards out on the table. Lay it all out. Write it out. Be like, you know what? This is what I want. This is what you want. Let's go over, soft limits and hard limits. And then you go through and you make a plan. Oh, that's not romantic. You know what's not romantic? Sleeping in a gutter. That's not romantic. You know what else is not romantic? Getting like a disease from your cheating husband because you're not pleasing him and giving him what he needs. Or you know what else ain't cute? I can tell you what's really not cute. When she's the one cheating on you with your friends. Because that's what women do. Because that's, why not? Why get somebody new when I know him? He's right here. It won't be suspicious if somebody sees his car in my driveway. And women don't get on me. I'm not saying all women, but as well as I do, at least 3 to 5 chicks in your inner and just outside your fringe circle who do shit like that. Y'all know who not to leave with your husband, don't you? I wouldn't leave anybody with my man. And I'd love to say it's not because I don't trust him. No, I don't trust him. The blood leaves their brain, hits their dick, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Because I tell you, sometimes it makes me a little dizzy. If I see something like I'm like, oh no, bad, 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 bad. Walk away, walk away. But again, I don't have like all the blood coming out of my head. Just enough to, like make everything nice and pink and puffy and pretty. Um, like a baby seal. I'm sorry, I love my Game of Thrones. Love it. You don't do a woman until she's slick like a baby seal. Torment. Anyway, I got a thing for redheads. You know that. I've always had a thing for redheads. In men, anyway. I don't know what it is. Anyway, moving on. But so let me get back on to what I was saying. I actually made an outline, guys. I'm so proud because I wanted to stay on track because there's just a lot I want to say and I don't want to go off on tangents, which I do, which I just did. So I'm going to go back and here we go. Point number 2. And no, I'm not numbering them because no. So like he puts forth that making all women into this like divine, perfect mother image, like this archetype, it's unfair and it's just a bad idea. And I completely agree. If you have listened to any of my videos, like when I first started doing this, I talked about like the breakdown of relationships and friendships in my past and what precipitated them, that I knew they were coming because this person did such and such. And one sure indicator of a relationship or friendship that's going to bomb is if they put you on a pedestal. That is the worst place to be because yeah, I might be superwoman to you, but I'm still human. I'm going to make a mistake. And that pedestal is unstable as hell. You know how fast it is to fall off that thing? One little and you're done. You're just plummet to the ground, smash your brains on the floor, and you're done. And then you have this person who's like, oh, I'm devastated. Of course you're devastated. I told you I didn't belong up there. I belong down here in the trenches with you. But you want to keep putting me up there. Don't put me up there. The only person that, you should put up on that pedestal, that's where your faith goes. I don't want to be up there. We've been taught that all our lives. The only person you should worship is God. Because God is not imperfect. God is perfect, right? That's what they say. God has a plan. So if you believe in that, which I do to a point, I do believe he has a plan. I do believe he's perfect in his estimation, but I would very much like the opportunity to debate him on that topic because I think he messed up in a couple places in my life, but that's for me and him to discuss. I don't think it makes him less perfect though. Like, I've already gone through the whole disappointment when he let me down. So now it's just me and him bantering back and forth and having like 4 a.m. discussions when I think I'm going crazy. So that was a lot. Sorry. So the thing is like that's where your faith should be. That's where your belief system should be. That's where the unblemishable in your life should be, because that's where the sun and the moon and everything is. That's where you get your light sources. You get them from above. Put them up there. Put God up there. Don't put me. Don't put your mother. Is there a lower tier than a pedestal? Yes, on the floor next to you. We never want to be above you. And that's what people are putting out now. Oh, women are superior. Women are have to rule over. No, stop making men weak. I completely agree with Jordan Peterson in that you're putting women above, you're making it out like they're superior. And in order to do that, you're actively dragging men down and making them feel like they're less. And I always say, if you need less, go find it. If you can't handle me because I'm too much, go find less. I'll find somebody who can match me. I'm not made out to be this like wilting fucking flower. I can't sit back and, yes, dear. That's not going to be me. Am I going to be supportive? Hell yeah. You need somebody to fight for you at your side? That's me every time. I don't care what the danger is. I don't care what the risk. If I'm in it with you, I am in it with you. We will go through feast and famine, war and peace. I don't care. But I have to know that you can pull your own weight. And if push comes to shove, protect me and the kids. Because that's the role that they've always played. And now we claim like victimization and everything else. I don't understand how women, they're getting this victimization thing. I was assaulted. If a man goes up to them and touches like their shoulder or something, like, okay, we're humans. We need contact. And the less contact we have, the more isolated and like inward we look. We feel like we're all up on our own. You can really get like mentally ill from not getting affection from people, from not, interacting or, you know, being close to somebody where you can, like just sit and, like talk and whatever, get it out, laugh, and maybe get a hug, get some, like good chemicals going through your body, some kind of reaction, because we need that. You can't get everything from a video or a text or a phone call. And not for nothing, but we always made connections through some type of like touch. And now, like, people, everybody's like, oh, nobody cares. Nobody cares because nobody's in touch with people. Maybe I'm completely off, but my whole take is I am so starved for like hugs, and like I could cry right now just thinking about how badly I want it. And it's not to be had because people back away from you now. Everybody wants that distance. And it's that distance that's going to kill us because we're just floating further and further away from each other. And it's really, really hard to maintain relationships without that kind of, grounded connection. I'm not talking about any kind of sexual touch. I'm talking about just everyday human touch. I mean, if I go to hold your hand to stop you from walking out, don't say I assaulted you. I grabbed your hand because you're not fucking listening and you're worth fighting for. And if I would have let you walk out the door, you would have turned around in like a week or two when you were feeling bad and said, I can't believe you let me walk out. Because if I didn't let you walk out, you'd call the cops on me, which is just bullshit. But whatever. People disagree. Disagreeing and having an argument, that's not abuse. And for all those people who swear, they're like, oh my God, I'm saintly. I never said a negative word to them ever. Bite me. Oh my God, bite me. Maybe in the end, you didn't say anything because I've been there. But in the beginning, you always say something, because you feel brave because there are people around or whatever. But you forget because you don't forget. You don't know yet that they're just going to ha, 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 ha until you're alone. They can store that rage and it builds and it builds and it builds. I almost preferred just getting the initial rage out of the way and being done with it, because if he got me later, it was 10 times worse. So it's just, a man being rageful is a man being rageful. It's not him being masculine. And I don't get the desire to convince the world that if a man is big and strong, stands firm in his beliefs, owns a GUN, YouTube, um, if he takes care of his family, if he drives a truck, if he owns tools, if he works with his hands, I don't know, if he's like drives a motorcycle, if he's like got a deep voice, anything that makes them manly characteristically, like physically characteristically, why are they telling them that that's bad? That that's toxic? It's not toxic. When you're home with your husband or your boyfriend or your hookup and somebody breaks in, that 90-pound oversensitive dude who is I don't know what pronoun or identity or whatever, but he's not this big toxic, masculinity on fire over here. He's this, guy you picked. He's the guy you picked up because he don't intimidate you and you can rule over him, and that's pathetic. But anyway, you have this little one and then you have this big one. Which one do you think is going to save your ass from whoever just like broke in? Is it Poindexter or is it Brutus? Because I'm going to go with Brutus. And I'll give you a little thing here. Abuse comes from all places. You could have a giant man who's a giant teddy bear and a little man who is bitter, hides it well. Oh, but he will take that out on you little by little. He will get his pound of flesh daily until there's nothing left of you. Because he needs that to make himself big. I don't care if you don't like my take on it. That's what my experience have taught me. And again, it's not everybody, but again, the exceptions to the rules are few and far between. Making us out to be perfect. It's not fair. Women have just as many, if not more, flaws than men, but we're like deceptive about it all. We're devious. Yes, there are men out there who can be devious and, deceptive and cruel and whatever. But I'm just saying, whatever they have out there, we have the same thing. We're not better than them. They're not better than us. They're not worse than us. We're not worse than them. We all are dicks. All of us. Every fucking one. I don't care if you've tried your hardest. I don't care if I cried over him. I gave him everything. That's great. But don't pretend like at some point in your life you didn't have a dick moment. That you weren't capable of exactly what you hate and bitch about the other sex. And I'm talking to men and women. It's like you guys don't want to get along. You could. No, it's just all the bitching back and forth. You did this. You did this. You're responsible for this. You're responsible for that. I don't like the way you manipulate. I don't like the way you manipulate. And it's just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it's fucking frustrating. I can't. And it's just like, I can't seem to find people who don't argue like that in the general public. Like they're so petty and immature. And I watch it on the news and I watch it I look in the articles and you got celebrities doing it, which that's a whole different kettle of fish. But I mean, everybody's just, I can't find somebody. I've been there. Granted, I ain't looking. I haven't been looking for a long time because I'm just over it. I'm over it. It took too much energy. There's no benefit to me right now. To be perfectly honest, I would not want to saddle somebody with me. So while I say there's no benefit to me, there would be every benefit to me. I would have somebody to, help me walk. I would have somebody to help me, keep my apartment, semi-orderly. I would have somebody, who could drive me to the doctor, hold my hand at the doctor. I would have tons of benefits. I can't give them anything. There's nothing I can give them that I find valuable. What do they want? My time? You can go on YouTube and listen to me. You want a conversation? Pick up the phone. I have tons of friends that call. I'm not saying I'll answer, but I have tons of friends that call. But as far as relationships, I can't give you anything. I'm just one big molecular construct of fucking pain. I can't give you the best of me. And I won't do a relationship where I can't give the best of me. Because for damn real, I expect the best of you. And I'm not going to meet you with less. And that's what's not happening out there. Nobody's having the honest conversation. Nobody's looking at themselves and going, you know what? I bitch that, nobody wants to be with me, but I'm not exactly working on me either. Like, I'm getting more woke. I'm making the men feel like I need them less. Here's the thing. Men need to be needed. The same way we need to help. You ever see Riding in Cars with Boys with Drew Barrymore? She fights her son through the whole thing. She aggravates the shit out of him. And in the end, he finally learns because someone told him what to do. And he said, Mom, I need your help. Now, she was just screaming and crying, you ruined my life. And he was like, I need your help. And she was like, with what? What can I do? Just like that. Boom. Because that's how we are, most of us. We want to help. We want to be useful. We want, a purpose. One that's fulfilling. And right now, working for other people, that's not fulfilling in my eyes. If you're going to work from sunup to sundown, you should be working on the things that carry on, like your family. Things that last. Things that you want to leave behind. Your legacy shouldn't be, I prosecuted 45, whatever. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Guess what? Somebody else did 50. Somebody else did 100. There's no friggin' award worth that either, losing all that time. But looking back and going, hey, I spent a lot of time with my kids growing up. That shit is valuable. And that doesn't happen. Oh, I spent time with my wife. We built this up together. So that's what we used to do. The whole family used to get involved in business. Everybody had a job. Nobody bitched about it either. 40 years down the road, it's still my favorite job. Was it hard? Yep. Did I have to learn a lot? Yep. Was it way too much to expect from a 9-year-old? Yep. Did I meet that challenge? Fuck yes, I did. Every time. And that's the only point of pride I have from my childhood, besides my academics. That's it. My work ethic. The fact that nobody was able to give me a job I couldn't fucking master. It's the only confidence I've got. My brain. Of course, now my brain is going bye-bye. Okay, Sarah. But Jordan Peterson, he doesn't want to denigrate anybody. He doesn't want to pull anybody down. He wants everybody to be lifted up, supported, praised, be proud. And the way he goes about it is, yeah, it's a little different from like what they're used to. He embraces the power of social media, and he embraces the power of alternative reporting. Because mainstream media constantly misrepresents him. They demonize him. They turn him into this horrible villain who's out to like harm your children. No, he's not. He's trying to protect your children from the ones out there that would prey on them and make them weak, to make them insecure and anxiety ridden. He wants to make them strong so that they can stand on their own and be proud of who they are. He's not about, this like they talk about, it's like tyrannical versus like the hero. And it's not all good or bad. He knows there has to be balance. And that's what he's looking for. Not for women to be stronger than men, or men to be stronger than women, or superior, or whatever little adjective you need to use. It's not about any of that. It's about balance. It's about everybody finding their balance with each other and their equilibrium within themselves. If you can balance out everything within yourself, which I'm desperately trying to do, your outlook on life is so much better. Your view of yourself is so much better, because you're not leaning one way or another. You're not seeing everything through rose-colored glasses, and you're not in the bottom of a well with a stake through your eye trying to see the light. Like, it's just, you're in the middle. You're balanced. You're good. And you have to be there. And I know you all have been on seesaws. And I know you all have done the thing you're not supposed to do, is stand in the middle, one leg on one side, one leg on the other, and see if you could like balance it out, right? You've all done it. I've done it many, many times. I've fallen many, many times. Not good at balance. I used to be able to walk a beam like nothing. But now, no, I can't even, like, I walk zigzag or like a crab walk, depending on, if I can get through the door with the walker. But he's about the balance. And they act like he's creating a new circle in hell for people. And that's where he's directly responsible for sending them there. Like, I don't get the animosity. I mean, they're so like malicious when they talk about him. They're so like, I can't find the words. Like, even reporters, I watched this reporter on TV interviewing him, and she would not listen to what he said. She kept taking her narrative because she was pissed off, and just like a little fucking chihuahua on a little rope. And you're looking at it going, I'm not a threat to you. Calm down, sit, relax, take a breath, have some water, but and she was just going at him. And it made no sense, because she's like, you're not answering the question. He did answer the question like 19 different ways, and you still don't have the comprehension skills to understand what the fuck he's saying. Do you not know English? You're a fucking reporter, for Christ's sake. I would think words would mean something to you, but apparently no. What's coming out of the person you're interviewing's mouth means nothing compared to the words that you've already concocted in your head. And you're not getting past that little wall of yours. And it's pathetic. It's disgusting. And it's completely unethical and unprofessional. But they keep doing it. They keep going at him and not listening and twisting his words. I mean, he genuinely wants to help the disenfranchised, especially the disenfranchised youth of the world, because they can still have a shot. Once they're out in the world, they're going to get swallowed up. Now is the time to tell them, hey, you can do this, but you got to put in the work. There's no magic that's going to make shit happen. Like, you got to roll up your shirt sleeves and go, oh, I'm all in. Let's go. what I don't understand, that they're so against him. Why are all these like professional agencies, like, like the Canadian government and the Canadian school system or whatever, their education system, the colleges, whatever, MSM, MSM, mainstream media, who else is against them? The feminists, God forbid the feminists like anybody. Um, they're so against him, but are they going to step up and do the job? I mean, it's a fair question, right? He's doing this service to an entire huge demographic. If he's not doing it, well, who's gonna? Because I don't see them stepping up to do it. I mean, they demonize him because, it's harder to control people who think for themselves and have dignity and pride and courage. And in this world, having courage enough to be firm in your beliefs, that takes a lot of courage, because people will go at you like you killed the Queen Mother. I mean, they will just, although no, they'd probably celebrate that because they're really deviant. They don't want us to be strong. They don't want anybody to be strong, just them. They don't want us to know about any of the backroom deals. You've seen that with the Twitter file drops, where they sold out the people of the world. Not just US and Canada. It's all these double deals and backstabbing and lying and covering up, and you don't know who's in it for you. I do, though. Nobody. You're in it for you. The group coming up, the new generation coming up, who's in it for them? Oh, he is. But you want to take him out. He's there with positive, practical, applicable advice. He's not just spouting platitudes. He explains everything. He goes into it all and he says, look, he explained this one day and it was like a light bulb went off in my head, because sometimes he says things and I go, don't apply to me. Don't apply to me. Oh, I know who that applies to. But this, I was like, oh shit, he's talking about me. Because he talked about how women are depressed and anxiety ridden in today's day and age because they're encouraged to be single and they're encouraged to, look inward at themselves. And when they don't have a family to take care of, and when they don't have a husband to take care of, they don't have a home, they don't have all those things in place, that it's their not role. Well, no, it's it's their role in life. Like, it's the mother's role by virtue of she's the mother to give value and to give, comfort and whatever, to be there, to build the home, to make it secure, to make the family strong, make the kids strong, make him, strong so he can work hard, he can provide, he can protect, because you're the heart of the matter. I don't know why people think that's a bad thing. Is it better to go out and be able to make money and say, oh, I was with, all these people that I'm never going to see again, and if they fire me, nobody's going to care? But you miss out on your family, who, if you died, they'd be like, oh my God, they'd be devastated. Why are you giving priority to people who don't put you as a priority? They don't care about you, even if they say they do. At a job, trust me, they don't. They really don't. You are completely 100% replaceable. And they will do it in a heartbeat and forget you in a week. Your family, not so much. If you're there for them, they're going to remember it. They're going to remember you. And you're going to stay in their hearts always. But that's not what everybody's choosing now. Everybody's choosing to go out and, oh, no, I need the better car. Oh, I need the bigger house. Oh, I need that. All right, let him worry about that. Let him worry about that if he wants you, if you both agree that you should be home. If you need to, Do a side hustle or whatever, do that. I don't Whatever you need to do, but don't give up the things that can fulfill you like that. Some women are completely fulfilled with their jobs. I get that. I'm just saying there are some who are not, and they're made to feel ashamed that they want to be, a wife and mother at home. Like it's somehow less noble, or they're somehow not intelligent for picking that, and that's bullshit. Now, going back to what I was saying about the things they don't want us to do. They don't want us to believe what we see. They don't want us to believe what they say. They want us to believe what they say later, when they've reworked it all, when they've twisted whatever clips they could get. When he said something and they go, oh, no, that was after. I didn't notice that, but now I can jump on that and twist it around and make him sound like a monster. They don't want us to go with our instincts. They don't want us to go with what rational thought tells us, common sense tells us. They don't want us to believe what we're seeing, what we're hearing, what we know is happening. And because of that, like, it affects us all on a very deep level. I mean, I feel lost and afraid most of the time. I am full of anxiety 24/7. My mind gets confused and I feel completely betrayed. Like my life was just served up as this sacrifice to the gods of capitalism. I wasn't done living my life. I've worked hard. I've exceeded every, responsibility or challenge or whatever. Like I've always gone above and beyond. I did what I had to do. I did everything I was supposed to, like I I took care of all my responsibilities, just me. Just me by myself. I didn't bother anybody about them. I didn't beg for anything. I made it work. I'm kind, I'm generous, I'm funny. I love really easily and very, very much completely. I've suffered and I sacrificed and I followed all the rules. Prove I didn't, or shut up. And this is my reward for being responsible and doing what I was told by my country to do. I get to be sick now, and I get to, you know, not know if I'm going to live or die. Oh, yay. I'm so glad I followed the rules. So, him breaking away and actually saying, you know what? You guys are bullying me. And no, I'm not going to take it. That gives me so much hope, because I want, in my situation, to stand up and go, nope, look what you did. Somebody's got to answer for this. Somebody's got to step it up. Something has to change, or we ain't going to make it. He does that. He stands up and says, hey, you need to change, or we ain't going to make it. I'll make it. You won't, because you haven't picked up the tools necessary to get you through it. And he can teach them that. He could teach them to be self-sufficient. Oh, the horror. He could teach them, hey, you know what? You'll feel better if you take a shower, put on some nice clothes that are clean, clean your room, and get everything ordered, and then your mind will be orderly and you'll have some peace. You'll be proud that you accomplished this. You'll look good. You'll feel good. These are the horrible things he's telling young men. Clean your room. Oh my goodness. Every mother who ever said that, they need to be fired right now. How dare they? How dare anyone try to make these kids better? It's a stupid argument, right? How stupid to go against somebody who is literally doing what none of us have been able to do. I mean, he's reaching these kids. He's reaching adults. He's changed my life. And I've only known about him for 3 months. Or maybe 4. But 3 to 4 months. I mean, I never even heard of him before because I'm a girl and I don't pay attention to that kind of shit. I'm just kidding about the girl part. I just like to rile you up once in a while. He says telling people that they need to get off their butts and be productive and be responsible is exactly what they need, but more to the point, it's what they want. And you'll notice that if you talk to kids in schools, this whole, there's no consequences, there's no whatever, they don't want that because they're not learning, how to compete. If you think life is not a competition, where have you grown up? Because I'm going there. Actually, I'm not, because I'm very competitive. Very. And I always win. You see how that goes? That little bit of confidence, that little swagger I got, I always win. I do. And if I don't, why would I tell you? It's my perspective. I always win. Does it make it true? No. Does it make it false? Not really. Not in my eyes. Because that's my perception. These people perceive their lives as unfair. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. Da-da-da-da. You didn't do this for my son. You didn't do that for my son. You didn't do this for my daughter. Did they work for it? No, but they showed up. So the fuck what? I don't care. Let me tell you something. If we're having dinner and you show up but you haven't helped cook, hey, no problem. Come on in, have a seat. But if we're going like on a trip or something and you haven't given money and you haven't like nothing and you start throwing your suitcases in the back like you're coming with, bitch, no. No. Did you contribute here? This is a luxury thing. Like, back up. This is not something that you're given in the course of your care. This is extra. Think of it as an elective. Like, me feeding you, that's just, human decency. Me paying for your vacation, that's stupidity. I'm not doing that. But you would expect me to. Like, they would expect me to. But it's not fair. You're taking your kid. They're my kids. But I want to go. I don't care. I want to be, 5'2" and 95 pounds. But that ain't going to happen. Not unless they just leave my ass and stretch it to 5'2". I'll tell you, if I ever went down to 90 pounds or 98 pounds, 96 would be ass. 1 would be tits, and the other pound would be probably just everything else. I'm not even counting my brain because that bitch can't be weighed. She's in flux. Kids want boundaries. They want rules. They want expectations. They need something to work toward. Otherwise, there's no motivation for them to work because they're kids. Oh, but he wants to play. Of course he wants to play. He's a kid. There's a time and a place. Now is not the time or the place. And people are afraid to tell their kids no. I've had so many people say, we don't do the no in our house. I'm like, yeah, well, your kid's going to learn no in my kindergarten. They're going to know it. They might know that word better than anything else because I'm not spoiling your kid. I had one woman who was like, why are you not feeding my son? Because he's 5. You have to feed him his lunch. No, I gave him his lunch. I'm not going to feed him. You want me to like, yeah, you have to cut it into little. Yo, I can't with these parents sometimes. I just can't. 5 years old, you want me sitting there and fuck the other 20 kids that I'm watching in the classroom while they eat. I'll just concentrate on yours and, feed him by hand like a baby. God, by the time my son was like 9 months old, he was like, in me. He didn't say it like that. That sounded terrible. Anyway, I should not laugh. I don't like the way they twist everything that he says. They fabricate false intentions, and they chase him from like country to country and media avenue to media avenue to bully and harass him into silence. It's completely repulsive to me. And that's not how we should be treating people like him, people of value, people who are contributing members of society. I mean, why do we vilify him? But we lift up people who, I mean, they add nothing really to society. Entertainment, that's it. They don't improve us. They're not, you know, some savant that is going to like lift us all up and create a new symphony and it's going to bring us together and whatever. Like there's nothing magical about like celebrities and rappers and like all the singers and directors. I don't care what any of them think. I really fucking don't. Because their reality is so different from everybody else's. I mean, think about how these people live. God, think about the trial. $500 per bottle of wine, 2 bottles a day. Are you $7,000 a week on wine? None of us live like that. Again, 1 or 2 is the exception, but the majority of the people do not live like that. So how could we possibly relate or they relate to anything we're going through? That's why I don't trust them. They're paid to say the shit that most of them say. I mean, these people, they haven't been working for like a year and a half. There's that year and a half gap where they have no income and they're like, I still have bills. Because they like buying those cars and the houses. Why promote lies and an agenda that, if left to like blaze a trail, it'll end everything we know about like societal roles and self-identity. Our autonomy, our language, our personal values, they're all being taken away and taken over and, forced back onto us after they've been twisted into something unrecognizable. I don't get it. I know like Carl Jung was he was a strange duck. He's a big hero of Jordan Peterson's, I guess. Maybe hero is too strong a word, but he does agree with him on many things, like, the shadow femininity, shadow masculinity, stuff like that. But he was very intelligent and he was very forward thinking. His work on like the anima and animus, the male and female, it inspired a lot of Peterson's theories regarding male and female identities. And, you know, he identifies them in all of us. Like nobody's purely masculine, nobody's purely feminine. Like he identifies that there is both. And there's, a percentage, an imbalance in the percentage, as there should be, which, creates who we are. And the thing is, we no longer treat people as individuals. So all these things that, we're like, I don't know, paranoid about, or like we're confused about, or we're dead set, in our beliefs about, we project these and we project all our other issues onto other people. We project our denials onto people, who don't deserve it. like him. This one man is not responsible for the sins of the rest. But we pursue him like he is. Like he's somehow, I don't know, wired into every man's brain. And he's saying, okay, go fuck with her now. There you go. Now go blame him. Oh, like Devin broke my heart. Blame Jordan Peterson. He doesn't know who Jordan Peterson is. It doesn't matter. It's his fault. It trickled down to him. He's susceptible. That's what they think. They think that we're so stupid that you just mention something and we're like, okay, that's my doctrine. I'll do it. No. We've made males and females into enemies and adversaries, which, that's not going to work for bringing us together to establish any type of healthy home environment. It's going to keep us fragmented, keep us distant, and keep us from solving the problems that we need to solve. We're stronger together, and we're letting people rip us apart. Being on the opposite end of everything, it's destructive and it's draining, and it creates a real resentment and bitterness that, I don't want women to be walking around all shrewish for the rest of the time, because that's where we're headed. That's what they're like trying to make you into. Everybody hate men. I love men. I love good men, bad men. I love men. I love women. Tall women, short women, big titty, little titty. I don't care. I could say crazy, not crazy, but I've only ever met the one kind. So that would be redundant and a lie. But anyway, like we need to stop blaming, and cop to the different things we do, our manipulations. Oh my God, our seductions. Women know exactly how to use their femininity and their assets to get ahead, to get what they want. We know how to leverage that shit. How to tantalize. Everybody does. Everybody knows, unbutton one button, get out of that traffic ticket. Lean on the counter. You might get the employee discount. And you did. Like, we know. We know what we're doing. Men don't really have that luxury. If they were to do that, they'd go to jail. We need to stop playing the blame game. Have real conversations. I feel like we need thousands of these conversations to happen so that we can get back to how things not were as they were, but so we can get back together. Because, don't you miss being part of a family? Don't you miss planning for the future? And, like having somebody. Do you just want to drift through the world, just not giving your soul to somebody and receiving theirs in return? Do you want to give up on that? Do you want to break down the world until we hate one another? I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I want us to get back together, to be strong. We need to be united, or we're not going to make it. We need to be on the same page. And right now, we aren't even in the same book. I don't think we're even in the same bookstore. Hi, Megan. But yeah, no, we're definitely not in the same bookstore. Andrew's in that bookstore. Don't you miss smiles? Hugs? Not being mad all the time? No anxiety? Loads of fun. Speaking freely. Not being afraid that you're going to offend somebody. Having a partner and a teammate for life Don't you miss intimacy? I miss intimacy. How about mutual respect and passion, love, understanding? Don't you miss all the good things that you were promised in life that are attainable? They held them up as like this is your goal as a kid. Maybe not all of them are your goals, but can you have respect for the ones who did want those goals? Or do you feel the need to shame them a little more? To punish them, to persecute them, to vilify them so that your points are stronger, so your argument is better. Actually, if you're resorting to that, your argument's not better. It's a lot weaker than you thought. I miss all those things. I miss connections. I miss hands on my skin and lips on my mouth. I miss just having somebody to hold on to. Breathing them in. God, I used to love. Everybody has a scent. And certain scents are very comforting to me. Like I could always tell if my ex-husband put a shirt back in the closet without, like washing it because he was lazy. Because it smelled like him. My pillow smelled like him. And I could sleep better. It was important to me. I could identify him by scent. Do you know what the people you're with, like what their scent is? Not what they smell like, what their scent is. I'm talking about no perfume, no deodorant, just them, their skin, their hair, their scent. I miss talking. I really do. I miss going for a coffee or a slice of pizza with a friend and sitting there and talking for 5 hours. I hate typing. I want my life back. I want everything back. I want to be able to go out. I want to be able to walk. I want people to be fair. Jordan Peterson doesn't want anything different. He has the knowledge and the tools to help people be better. Why on earth would anyone want to take that away? Why would these like celebrities purposely, Olivia Wilde, purposely say things on, in an interview just to hurt him? And she's vile. She's a vile woman. It's cruel and it's hurtful. And I know I've heard a lot of male creators say, oh, you shouldn't have cried, whatever. That's your take because you're a man. You're allowed to have that. But I can tell you as a woman, I didn't think less of him. I thought more. Not because he cried, but because the very thought that someone would take what he's doing, devoting his life to, that he's somehow the negative force in the world, that has to be devastating. This man wants nothing but the best for people. He wants the world to be better. Nobody's listening. I mean, we're listening. His supporters are listening because we know what he says has value. I'm a very practical, pragmatic person. If you can tell me something that's going to make me be easier on me, have my head be less fucked up, and like sort out a little bit of my life, I'm all ears. Because I don't think I have it all together. I know I don't. I never have. I do my best. If he can help me be better, Doesn't everybody deserve that? Don't you all deserve the better version of me? The best version of me? I've already given you my best. Now he's going to give you a better best of me. You should thank him instead of putting him down, because he doesn't do well for your agenda. If your agenda is that weak, maybe you should look at it and go, maybe it's not the best idea to do this. Maybe wait 20, 30 years. What's the rush? The rush is this man is being persecuted and bullied and harassed by a college and his government. And it's unacceptable. This cannot stand. I do stand with Jordan Peterson. I think he's a very, very knowledgeable man. And I think he has the best of intentions. If I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. Anyway, I love you all. Please, if you can, hit subscribe, hit the like button, share a comment. It keeps me getting pushed higher and higher in the algorithm, since YouTube is determined to bury my ass. I really think people need to hear stuff like this. So if you can, share it, whatever, just get it out there. And I want to thank you for listening, because I know it's not a popular opinion in many, areas, but I will never give you a false opinion to win your favor. I will always let you know where I stand. We might not agree, but at least you know that I have standards, I have beliefs, and I'm willing to, be public and proud of them. But I'm also willing to listen to different points of views. I can change my mind. I won't, not in this, because I'm on the right side of it. But other areas, I would love to discuss this with anybody. Just don't get nasty. I want to have discussions, not arguments. Anyway, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I will see you in the funny papers. Bye.